What's up guys, it's Ed back again here and welcome back to the channel. Now it is that time of the year again where football fans across the country, heck across the world, begin to predict the Premier League table and how they think the Premier League will go, with no knowledge of how teams are going to line up, with completely just out of the blue how they think the Premier League is going to happen. And this video, it's no different. I'm going to be predicting the Premier League table, all 20 positions this season, and at the end of the season we're going to come back, revisit this video and see how many I got right. I did one last year, I didn't do very well at all. I think I got 2 positions right or something like that, so I want a lot better this year than last year, so fingers crossed we can do better this year. But we're just going to get straight into it and we're going to go with 20th position. I think Cardiff City will finish in 20th position. You know, they play a type of football which doesn't or is not renowned to work in the Premier League. They play very long ball, very physical, and I personally do think that Cardiff will be undone in the Premier League. I think teams like Man City, like Liverpool, will pick them apart. Even teams like Southampton and Watford will pick Cardiff apart because they play so physical. I don't think they'll have the ability to contain teams with the amount of quality that teams have in the Premier League. And I also think that going forward they won't have enough for the Premier League. You know, in the Championship, to get promoted, you've got to beat teams like Brentford, like Barnsley, like teams like this, and in all honesty, no disrespect to them, they're not that hard to break down, they're not that hard to score against, whereas to stay up in the Premier League you're going to be needing to beat teams like Burnley, like Watford, like Southampton. And do Cardiff have that? I'm not too sure. Obviously they've strengthened going forward with Bobby Reid, that's a good signing for them, but is that enough? Personally I don't think so. 19th and 18th then, I predict that Brighton will finish in 19th. They had a decent season last season, to be fair to them. You know, they didn't do badly, they stayed up, which is one of their goals, but I personally think they haven't strengthened enough again, and I think the quality of the Premier League is improving, as we'll see later with my predictions for the other 2 promoted teams. I think the quality of the Premier League is improving. Do Brighton have that quality? I'm not so sure. It'll be interesting to see how they do this season, because obviously they didn't do too badly last season, as I said, but do they have the quality to stay up in a Premier League that is increasing with quality all the time? I'm not sure. And that is the same with 18th position Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield will also go down. A couple of seasons ago when they did get promoted, they won in the playoffs. They were massive outsiders to get promoted. I thought they would go down last year. They didn't. They did well. But it's the same with Brighton. Have they brought enough players in, brought good enough quality players in to survive in the Premier League? I'm not too sure about Huddersfield. As I keep saying, the Premier League is improving in quality. Have Brighton and have Huddersfield improved that much? No. And that's why I think they will go down, unless they do some mad work in the last, what is it today, Tuesday, so that's until Friday, so that's like 3 or 4 days until they do some mad work. Then I'm not sure. I think the 3 relegated teams will be Cardiff in 20th, Brighton in 19th and Huddersfield in 18th. So 17th to 12th I'm going to do really quickly. I think Bournemouth will come 17th. I think they will just stay up. Again, they haven't really brought many players in, many players of real quality, but I think Eddie Howe has the experience now of a Premier League manager, knows how to stay up in the Premier League, knows what to do in the Premier League, and I think their squad will be good enough to stay up just. 16th is Southampton. Had a pretty poor season last season, but I think they will stay up. I think their squad is good enough. If you look at their squad, it's definitely not a Championship squad. We said that about Stoke, but I don't think Southampton will go down. Watford 15th. I think Watford, again, I don't think they'll go down, but they have not really replaced Richarlison. If you think about it, they've got 50 million for him. but he was an influential player in Watford's squad. He was probably the main player in Watford's squad, and they haven't really replaced him, have they? I can't see them doing too well this season. I can't see them going down. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think they will do as well as Watford fans want them to. I think Watford will come in 15th. 14th is a bit of a shocker. I think Burnley will come in 14th. Obviously had an amazing season last season, but potentially with the Europa League more games, they haven't really strengthened. The Championship, the Premier League is improving with quality, as I keep saying. Do I think Burnley will have enough quality to potentially challenge in the Europa League and do as well as they did in the Premier League? I don't think so. 13th, I think, will be Crystal Palace. They've obviously got quality. Wilfried Zaha, Christian Benteke, Milivojevic, something like that. I've butchered that name, apologies. They've obviously got quality. They won't go down. They won't be in trouble of going down. But I think they will finish in 13th. 12th, I think, will be Newcastle. Fans of Newcastle have complained about the lack of signings, the lack of money being given to Rafa Benitez, and I think that will halt them back. That will stall them, the club's progress completely. I think they'll finish in 12th. I don't think they've strengthened enough to really push into the top half of the table in the upcoming season. And as I say, teams that will come up later in the video, I think have strengthened, I think will be better than Newcastle. So I think Newcastle will come 12th. So 17th to 12th, Bournemouth, Southampton, Watford, Burnley, Palace, Newcastle. That is one of the hardest, those positions are one of the hardest to predict, because you know the teams that are going to be in and around there, but they could be anywhere. And so those are my predictions. In 11th is one of the newly promoted sides. We've got Fulham. They've done a madness in the transfer window. As an outsider looking in on Fulham, they've done an absolute madness. I know quite a lot about football. I know quite a lot about Seri. He is some player. Let me tell you, he's an amazing player. Jean-Michel Seri, brilliant centre midfielder, brilliant at stalling the play, brilliant going forward, but also brilliant going back. Running back towards his own goal defensively. So that is a massive signing for Fulham. And obviously signing Andre Schürrle from Dortmund. That is a signing and a half. Obviously played for Chelsea, played for Dortmund. These are two clubs that he played for with real quality. These are two clubs that are right at the top of European football. Obviously Dortmund and Chelsea, massive clubs with with brilliant players, and Andre Schürrle playing with those players, that is mad how they've managed to do that. So I think Fulham will finish in 11th. I think they may need a couple more signings in the transfer window before it does close to finish in 11th, but I think the way they've strengthened in their team and the way they played in the Championship last season, going from the January transfer window to the end of the season unbeaten, I think that stands them in really good stead, and I think Fulham will finish in 11th in the Premier League season. 10th, I think, will be Leicester City. Obviously, Harry Maguire had a very, very good World Cup for England. So did Jamie Vardy. Didn't have a very good World Cup, but he went, and he didn't play that much, but the experience that James Vardy's got, obviously a Premier League winner, obviously had an amazing season when they won the Premier League. I think that experience will help them. They've got a good squad. They do have a very good squad. I don't think it'll be enough to challenge right at the top, but it definitely won't be bad enough that they go down. So I think smack bang in the middle will be Leicester, and I think in 9th will be Everton. Obviously spending 50 million on Richarlison. How big of an impact is he going to have on Everton this season? Is he going to boost them up to the Champions League positions, to the Europa League positions? We are not sure. Obviously, he was influential at Watford, but he didn't set the world alight. He didn't tear the Premier League apart. So 50 million on Richarlison is a lot of money. Are they going to get that back from performances from him? And is the team going to be good enough? Obviously, they've had a pretty shocking pre-season. Will that matter? I'm not so sure. I think Everton will finish in 9th. I don't think they've got the quality that will get them into the Europa League / Champions League. I don't think it's the best squad they've ever had. I think the squad with Romelu Lukaku, they had a better chance of getting really high in the league. So I think 9th will be a fairly good season for Everton, and I think that's where they'll finish. Now in 8th is my club, Wolves. There may be a little bit of bias here, but I have actually gone on YouTube and checked some other people's Premier League predictions, and they do think Wolves will finish 9th or 8th or mid-table like that. So I think my prediction is fair. Obviously, we have, when I say we, I'm referring to Wolves, we've strengthened so much. We have had such a good transfer window. Obviously, the connections to George Mendes and everything helping out a lot, but I think Nuno has attracted players that we could only dream of. Obviously, Rui Patricio, Jean Moutinho, Willy Bolly signing on a permanent. Madness, absolutely madness how we've strengthened like that. And I think being linked with Adama Traore, apparently having his medical today. I'm recording this on Monday the 6th of August, and you're seeing this on Tuesday the 7th. Adama Traore is set to have a medical at Wolves on Monday, yesterday. So if Adama Traore comes into our club, those signings, I still think we need some more, but I think we've got the quality. I think we need some more strength in depth, and I think we need a proven goal scorer. But I think the way we've strengthened the team that we had in the Championship last season would have got us up to 15th or 14th in the league. But I think with these additions, we can really go places in the Premier League, and I think Wolves will finish in 8th. In 7th will be West Ham. What a freaking transfer window they have. They have had an insane transfer window. Let me read you some of the West Ham signings. Felipe Anderson, Andrei Yarmolenko, Jack Wilshere, Ryan Fredericks, Lucas Fabianski, Issa Diop. What a transfer window West Ham have had, and I think they will do really, really well this season. Obviously, with Pellegrini in charge, he knows the Premier League, he knows what it takes to do well in the Premier League, and these players, although not Premier League proven, they are European proven. Felipe Anderson playing in Italy, Andrei Yarmolenko playing for Dortmund, Ryan Fredericks had an amazing season last season for Fulham and was an integral part of them going unbeaten and actually getting promoted. Jack Wilshere played for Arsenal for donkey's years, knows the Premier League like the back of his hand. Lucas Fabianski playing for Swansea, did well for Swansea. And Issa Diop playing in France, playing against top quality players like Neymar. West Ham will have a very, very good season unless something goes very, very wrong at the London Stadium. And I think West Ham, the way they've strengthened, I think they will come in 7th. Now the top 6, as hard to predict as ever. So here it goes. In 6th, I think will be Chelsea. Maurizio Sarri is the new manager. Have they strengthened enough? No. The only 2 players that they've brought in are Jorginho from Napoli, who is decent. He's a decent midfielder. But is he going to change the game for Chelsea? Is he going to make them a Premier League winning side? No. And Rob Green as a third backup keeper. And with talks of Eden Hazard and Thibaut Courtois going to Real or moving away from Chelsea, I don't think they will have anywhere near enough to challenge for the Premier League this season. So I think they will finish in 6th. In 5th, I think will be Manchester United. Manchester United have had a very, very poor pre-season. There looks to be trouble with Jose Mourinho. I'm not sure if he's lost the dressing room or he's not happy at Manchester United, but what happens when Jose Mourinho loses the dressing room or isn't happy as a manager? We've seen it before, haven't we? We've seen teams like Chelsea do very, very poorly under Mourinho, and eventually leading to him being sacked. So I don't think United will have a very good season this season by their standards. I think they will still finish 5th. But yeah, I'm not sure about Manchester United this season. They may do very, very well and surprise me, but from what it looks like at the moment, recording this, I don't think they will have a very good season. In 4th, I think will be Spurs. very, very quiet in the transfer window. Very, very quiet to say the least. Absolutely no one signed at the time of recording. Harry Kane, if Harry Kane can score like he has scored in previous seasons, Spurs will do well. Don't matter about signings, Spurs will do well because of the amount of goals they score with Harry Kane, with Dele Alli, with Lucas Moura, who didn't play that much last season for them and is hoping to kick on this season. Yeah, they haven't done much in the transfer window, but I do think that the quality they have in their team will still be enough to get them into the Champions League, and they will finish in fourth. In third, I think will be Arsenal. Obviously, lots of signings for Arsenal. The main talking point for Arsenal is actually Unai Emery coming in and replacing Arsene Wenger. How will Arsenal do under Unai Emery? Will there be a change in style of play? Will Arsenal be a rejuvenated Arsenal? Will we see a rejuvenated Arsenal? I'm not sure. They have strengthened. They have strengthened quite a bit. Bernd Leno, Lichtsteiner, Socrates, Torreira. They've made some decent signings. Will it be enough to win them the league? I don't think so. Will it be enough to get them up to third? I do think it will be. So I think Arsenal will finish in third. Now, there's obviously two teams left, and that is Liverpool and Manchester City. Whew. Who do I think will win the league? Who do I think will just fall short? I think Liverpool will just fall short and Liverpool will come in second. Obviously, done an absolute madness in the transfer window. They've done so well. But Manchester City last season blew the Premier League away, were absolutely insane. And the signing of Riyad Mahrez, who has done it before in the Premier League, who has absolutely torn the Premier League apart for Leicester, I think he will have more of an impact on Manchester City than a lot of people think. And I think Liverpool will just fall short, not because Liverpool are bad, but because Man City are just unbeatable and just incredible. Pep Guardiola has had 2 seasons in the Premier League now. He knows what to do. He's won it once before, and he will want to replicate that again. So I think Liverpool will finish in second, and I think Manchester City will be the champions of the Premier League of England again. Golden Boot winner. Who do I think will win the Golden Boot? I think Harry Kane will win the Golden Boot. Obviously had a really good World Cup for England, won the Golden Boot at the World Cup. I think he will continue his scoring form for Tottenham and win the Golden Boot again. But that is where we're going to leave this video. Those are my Premier League predictions, as you can see on the screen right there. What do you think? How do you think the Premier League will pan out? Let me know in the comments section down below. We will revisit this video at the end of the season and check my predictions. Let me know if you think I've made any howlers. Let me know how wrong you think I am on some of these. Let me know if you think I'm right on some of these. You never know. But that is where we're going to leave it today. Thanks for watching. Have a very nice rest of your day. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Don't forget to like the video and turn on post notifications. Do all that good stuff. But for now, have a very nice rest of your day. Goodbye.